Hello, welcome to our very first workshop in a box, and I'm really pleased that you've joined me, and I'm really pleased that you're coming along on the ride for what is going to be a fabulous series. As you know, I'm kicking the series off, and after that it'll be all sorts of fabulous teachers. I was really excited to do June for you because I want to show you a product that I think you'll love, and I think you'll go, why didn't I know about that before? It's a product that it's going to allow you to put complicated images into your artwork, and you'll be able to do it with ease, without any drawing, without any fuss or bother. So you should have your kits by now. So let's have a look at what's in our kits. This is the taster. So we're not giving you scissors and things like that. You don't need those. You'll supplement from your stash, all right? And from your stash, you'll need a pair of scissors, good scissors to cut out some fabric with, a good pair of tweezers, some pens, of course, a nice permanent fine line one, and a pair of scissors to cut plastic or paper or whatever it is that you'd like to cut with. And of course your free motion feet, whether you use open or closed toe, totally up to you. However you stitch is fine by me. The other thing I often use is blue painter's tape. I've talked to you about this before, and I do love blue painter's tape. It doesn't leave glue or sticky solvent on anything. It's not like masking tape where you're trying to get the glue off, or normal sticky tape. This stuff's just great, and I use it on my quilting rulers and all sorts of things. So I think you might have seen the session where I showed you how I square up a quilt with it and all sorts of things. So, okay, so what's actually in our products that we need is you will have in there an A4 printed sheet with the black and white and a colour print of the bee eater, the beautiful bee eater that we're going to do. And so you use this as a colour reference and as a tracing reference. And there's not much tracing or colouring in or anything to be done. You watch, it's really, really easy. So you've got the paper printout, which is your reference sheet. Then you have a printout on the product that we are highlighting, and it is a sticky solvay that will be on a backing sheet. Whoops. And I've put that through the printer for you. So there's your bee eater that we're going to be stitching on. And you've also got a spare sheet, A4 sheet of this product, because I think you'll love it and I think you want to play with it. And there's a lot of things you can do with this product. You can print on it like I just showed you, and you can then stitch over it to get your images on. You can also draw on it, and you can draw all sorts of things on it. If you wanted to get a family saying that you got off Pinterest or something, family is everything, but you don't think your calligraphy skills are any good, or you don't know how to get it onto a piece of fabric, print it onto this or trace it onto this, stick it on your fabric and stitch over it. Also, if you do sashiko or something like that and you're worried about your stitches being uneven, same thing. Trace your sashiko pattern on, or print it on, whatever you like. It's a really, really good product. Now, if you want to print it, I've got an easy trick for you. Get a piece of paper, carry a sheet of paper. This one's slightly thick, but it still goes through the printer beautifully. Normal photocopier paper is fine. Some blue painter's tape, put it on the back, okay? And then line up your solvay sheet, nice, make sure it's straight, and cover the whole top edge with the blue painter's tape. You can have a thicker margin than that, that's fine, but you'll have to make sure that when you print it out, you leave a gap at the top of the page. And don't be like me and have a big thick piece of blue painter's tape and forget to drop my image down. I should have increased my margin, and instead I lost, the head of a bird or something. So Stick it down like that. And what you end up with is this sort of thing. Yeah. And this is the lead edge that goes into the printer. And by doing that, it takes both sheets as one, and the sticky stuff won't come off. Just make sure the tape, I need a new bit of tape, make sure the bit of tape covers the whole way across the top of the sticky solvay. If not, just pull it up and push it up and make sure it's covered. I normally just put a great big long sheet of tape and then I cut the ends off. Yes, I obviously need a new bit of tape because it's not holding down. So I would throw this bit of tape in the bin and get a new one if I was actually printing on this. Okay, so otherwise you can just trace an image. As you can see, it's quite see-through. There's no light box or anything there, but you can see that you can see through that. And if you put it on a light box, it's even better. So you can trace, you can hand stitch in this. You can machine quilt. If you're trying to get a nice feather in your machine quilting and you're not great at it, trace a feather onto this, put it on your quilt, stitch over it and wash this away. So the product actually is a sulky product, and it's called Sticky Fabric Solvay. All right, and it's a self-adhesive water-soluble stabilizer, they call it, and it's marketed more for hand quilters and all that sort of thing, for cross-stitching, needle punch, anything to get patterns on whatever it is you're making. But by being able to put it through the printer, we can get really complex images like our bees and our birds and all of that thing. We can put it on our textile art. So it's a really, really great product. This is in a roll. You can get it in the sheets. I buy the roll, which is a bit more expensive, but I knew I had a few to get through. And then I just cut it to the size of my printer paper, pardon me. So that's the product. It's acid-free. It's really good. You'll think of lots of ways to use it. Don't be afraid to hand stitch through it, sew through it, all sorts of things, okay? Now, the other thing that you have in your kit is a piece of plastic, and you'll be wondering why you've got a bit of plastic. And the plastic is book cover plastic, and it's non-adhesive, and it's just simple, cheap plastic. I get it at a newsagent's. You can get it pretty much anywhere. But you can also use plastic that you get from Woolies off a packet or a Ziploc bag or something like that. So I do all my tracing on plastic, and the reason I do it is this. So when you're doing your tracing, if you put a piece of paper over to trace, or tracing paper or that sort of thing, you find that if you're trying to do something with minute detail, that you lose some of the detail. Whereas when you're tracing under plastic, you've got the image right there, so you don't miss any of the fine details and that sort of thing. I love it. The other thing, what you need to do though is find out that you've got a permanent pen that dries really quickly. I use a Sharpie Ultra Fine Point permanent marker, and the reason I do it is this, and you'll see that I've been practicing a little bit because I couldn't get my microphone to work in previous ones. So if I draw with this one, it instantly doesn't smudge. See if I do a better one actually. And it just doesn't smudge. See that? If I use this pen, which is, again, a fine point permanent marker, but if I use this one, it smudges. So I have to wait for it to dry. That drives me crazy. So if you can't find one that doesn't smudge, you'll have to just slow down and be patient. Otherwise, find a nice fine one that does. Most of the Sharpie permanent pens will do it. Some permanent pens will bead and watermark. They're not the ones you want, okay? They're some pens like an ordinary colour texter, they don't work. All right, they just bead and they slide off the plastic. The other thing I do is I always write the word right in the top right corner. And the reason is I do that is because if you ever have to do applique where you have to reverse your pattern, there you go, it's reversed. You don't have to retrace anything. And you know it's reversed because the word right is wrong. Okay, so for this system, you don't need any reversing whatsoever. We take the image and we create our fabric applique shapes directly off the image. So we don't have to reverse anything. We don't draw on the back of the fabric. We draw straight onto the top of the fabric with the image the way it is. And the other tip I like is obviously that my beautiful blue painter's tape hold everything down while I'm tracing, so that way, and even if I'm tracing something and I do lose the image, I can lift it up, check what I'm doing, put it back down, and it'll go down on the same spot. Okay, so that's my tips. Tape your things down and use plastic. You'll love plastic because I actually use plastic to design with, and one of my big quilts that I did, which is a whole cloth quilt and it had animals, sea animals all the way around, I only had to draw the animal once and then I just moved him round and round and round, or I moved him and then I traced him over, and if I didn't like them there, I just peeled them off, so they're all separate, and I peeled them off and put them on a great big plastic sheet of paper. Great big plastic sheet. And so I had multiple images and I could move them. I could, for instance, with this one, if I wanted another bird, I could trace another bird and I could overlap them and I could move them. I could put a bee on it or something like that. So that's why I like plastic to trace with. If you want to use paper or whatever else, go for it, no problem. So if I go through step by step how we're going to do the process, just as an overview though, okay? So did I show you your little bees that I'll be putting in the package for you? Okay, so I don't know whether we'll get both bees. We'll see how I go with that. But I'll give you some bees, some printed bees on the sticky fabric solvay, so you can use and you can practice and have some fun. And then at the end, if you wanted to put those next to the bird or on a different flower or something like that, go for it, okay? So this is the process laid out. So we've got the printed image of our bee. I've stitched on here just to show you, but you don't need to do that. And it's on the carrier paper. We'll peel that off there shortly. But you just trace the image, and in this one, I just traced the abdomen off. And you can see that my the fabric has even got a bit of pen mark, bit of water-soluble pen mark. I just traced it straight onto my fabric. I don't have to reverse anything. I don't have to put Fly-Suffix. I don't have to put glue. I don't have to pin it. So how do you do it? Okay, so then you pull the solvay off the carrier sheet, and because this product is sticky, you put your little cutout applique on there. Okay, and it stays there and it holds it. It's really, really good. Now, if you're doing multiple appliques like on our bird, we need to realise that we have to stack. Okay, so for instance, if this, I'll show you the bird. Hang on, where are we? So if we were talking about the bird, we would make sure that the first thing to touch the sticky was the red, and then the yellow, and then the white, and then the brown, etc., etc. So what I usually do is stack my fabric applique shapes and then put the sticky on top. But you can, I'll show you that in the next couple of steps, okay? So basically, stick the applique, it's all there, no pins, no glue, no nothing. Peel it off the backing paper and stick it onto your fabric. Stitch like mad, stitch however you like, colour it in, just leave a bit out, put a bit in, whatever you like, just stitch away and then wash away. And you're left with a bee, and no one knows that you didn't draw this bee. You don't have to tell them either. So that's how you can get complicated little images into your work. And you don't have to be a fine artist to do it. So that's that's what we're going to learn, and that's the product that we're using. So I'll get to it, and in the next segment I'll show you how we go about doing it.